guys. Check out this crazy book I found in the basement. I wonder if it has anything to do with this tape recorder. Let's take a listen. Yeah, give it a listen. Start her up.
Tatra amistrobin azarta. Dar his hiker dans de rodza. Ganda.
No idea what that is.
That's weird.
Never heard of it.
What do you think, Jeremy?
Well, actually, I think.
Yeah!
Open the door!
Come in here! Come in here! Come in!
That was close.
Let's get him down.
Movies you review.
Knock it off, man. You alright? Oh no. Something got in me.
We gotta do this.
Yeah.
You good, Jeremy?
No, it was the woods themselves. They're alive, Ashley.
I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirits of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
I don't care what happens to her. She's your girlfriend, you take care of her.
You alright?
I'm better now. Thanks for bringing me down.
Yeah, that's what we do for you.
Speaking of bringing people down, we're Wages of Sin. I'm Stephen Gillum.
I am Eric Miller.
And I'm Deb Beck.
And I'm Jeremy Garcia.
What do we review today?
Evil Dead
Evil Dead.
Evil Dead 1,
1.
the original.
1981.
Tell us about it.
Directed by Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
The Sam
His
Raimi.
first feature film.
What else has he directed? Evil Dead 2?
Spider-Man
Army
1,
of
2, and 3.
Darkness?
Quick and the Dead.
Some other stuff.
He directed Within the Woods, which was like before this. This was a little short film he made to get budget for this movie.
What was the budget for this movie? Do we
The
know
budget for this movie was $350,000,
that? Macaronis. All right.
which to us that's a lot.
Yeah.
But-
But that's not enough to get Georgia tax credits. Tax
No.
incentives for movie making in Georgia.
In 1981, that was
Anyway, the movie.
That was like $1 million.
Let's talk about the movie now.
it. Starts off group of friends traveling in a classic vehicle.
Not A classic, that is the classic. That is the
An
Ted Raimi.
Oldsmobile.
Oh,
Ted
was it?
Raimi Oldsmobile.
An Oldsmobile.
And they're going to stay at a cabin, which they've rented
Yes.
for a good price.
Yes.
2 couples and the main character's sister.
Ah,
You know that.
I did not.
Yes.
The fifth wheel.
It's Ash and his girlfriend
Yeah,
Linda.
the fifth wheel.
It's Ashley and his girlfriend Linda.
You have Ashley and Linda, Scott and Shelley, and Cheryl was
Cheryl was
Ash's
the sister.
sister.
Ash's sister.
Who knew?
Did not know that.
You know what else we don't know? What is Ash's full name?
Can we ask Little Gil?
We might be able to.
Ah,
I swallow your soul, I swallow your soul. Ashley J. Williams, I swallow your soul, I swallow your soul.
Well, I think I heard Ashley J. Williams.
That's what it sounded like.
You never hear it in the movie, but Sam Raimi has gone on to say that that is his full name. Maybe we'll hear it in the upcoming TV show.
Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yep, that's what it's called.
I need to find somebody who has stars so I can watch it.
Ashley J. Williams versus the Evil Dead.
So
Has
the
a nice
premise.
ring to it.
They go out there. They find a spooky book.
Like right off the bat.
Book of the Dead.
Like they just walked in.
They did, didn't they? This is our Book of the Dead.
That's when we found
Yeah, it was in that back room.
Weren't there? Didn't they find props and stuff with it too? Like it was
There's
the
a
book
knife.
and
Big dagger.
there you go, the dagger. How could I forget the dagger
And the convenient tape recorder.
tape recorder.
and the tape
And they're
recorder?
like, hey, let's listen to this. Turn on.
Yeah.
And like 4 or 5 spooky words later.
The funny thing about that is like, so they just turn it on and it starts playing, and it's at the beginning.
It's at right where it needs to be.
Someone had to rewind
Yeah.
it after recording all of it.
Only you.
Well, I like how it's like they're just listening to it, and and then she's like, oh, the fifth wheel said stop, turn it off. They turn it off, and then the guy just arbitrarily fast forwards it to some part in the thing, and immediately hits play, and that is the magic spot to make things just start rising from graves or demons coming to life and stuff like that. It was like, he hit that, the douchebag of the group hit like the magic spot on the tape recorder.
Was there already Cheryl, the fifth wheel? Wasn't she already encountering something before the tape even came? Wouldn't the cellar
Yeah.
door, like she heard like something calling?
Join
from her?
us.
Something
And
like that, yeah,
She
join us.
started, was that when she was like drawing?
Yeah, she had the,
Oh, she drew the crude image of the book. Yeah,
which is just how I draw naturally.
yeah.
Well, even when they're driving to the cabin, they kind of like, the wheel kind of turns. He's like, your car's messing up.
Yeah.
It's like something was kind of pulling them there. Like maybe that wasn't even the cabin they're supposed to stay at. Maybe it was.
That's
Evil.
a good point. I never thought of that.
I thought of that scene, that entire first. It's just, how do I get him to the cabin? I thought it was just like a poor writing thing. There's the writing in the beginning. I don't feel is the strongest.
You know, like when he's like honking the horn, because he's like, the only thing that works is the horn, and the
I'm
locals are
not
waving.
honking at you.
By the way, one of those locals was Ted Raimi, or Sam Raimi,
Maybe both.
or both. One of the Raimis was the local hillbillies waving.
Cool.
So,
Did not know that.
craziness ensues.
Yeah.
I believe the sister gets pulled into the woods, and
No, she wanders into the woods.
she goes looking for the voice.
Puts on a robe.
And the forest kind of
Violent.
has its way with her. She breaks free and runs back. No one believes her. And then I believe,
Ash attempts to get her. She's like, I'm not staying here. He's like, well, we'll go stay in town. The two of them leave, and the car won't start. When they get to the car won't start.
but yeah. Then it starts. Then they drive. Then the bridge is out.
Bridge.
It has become a gripping hand of doom.
And
So-
Is that the same bridge that the wheel fell through?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought that when they showed that first, and then even the reaction shot of Ash looking down out of the window and something falling, it only looked like a creek. It looked like it was like a 12-foot drop there or something like that, or maybe a 20. And then in second, which we'll get to later, part 2, they show a good wide shot, and Ash is on the side of the Grand Canyon when he gets to that bridge that's all curled into a hand. So like, it didn't match up to me.
Well, between 1 and 2, there was like a lot of erosion going on.
they didn't have the lens.
We'll get to 2.
So-
We'll get to 2.
The sister gets possessed. They toss her in the cellar,
Yes.
which I believe Will Gill is now accompanying her.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think,
Then in the next 20 minutes, everyone gets possessed.
It
yeah,
just kind of goes down the line.
It just goes
except
down the
for
line.
Ash.
Right.
Ash stays normal.
Yeah. He doesn't get, he gets possessed. Does he get possessed in that one? At the end?
Spoiler.
Whatever.
Well, if you haven't
Whatever.
seen this movie, why are you even watching this review?
So,
Well, speaking of which, this is Mr. Garcia's first time.
Yeah.
yeah, I think I've seen clips from it or something, but this is my first time sitting down
Being
and watching
forced to sit.
being forced to sit down and watch the entire thing.
He did manage to stay awake for the first one.
Yeah, we'll get to the second one. But, yeah, I enjoyed it, though. I enjoyed it. I had fun with the practical effects and stuff like that. I enjoyed seeing because this is not my first Sam Raimi flick, so I've seen more of his blockbusters. Didn't he do Drag Me to Hell?
He
Yeah.
did.
I don't like that one.
Same
But-
Oldsmobile.
It's in every movie.
Yeah.
It's fun seeing those, going back and seeing where those directors started. And we recently saw Peter Jackson do Bad Taste, and stuff. I like seeing kind of where those directors started.
There's kind of similar tastes as far as like the gore, and I think for Evil Dead and Bad Taste to me, it had a similar feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel, speaking of similar feels, I feel like this one I got a lot of, which I told you guys while we were watching it. I felt like I got a lot of like The Thing and Alien and different like aspects of those, like with the synthetics and the white blood coming out, and then just the look of the prosthetics and the framing that he did was very reminiscent of John Carpenter's The Thing.
Creature, like when the stuff was coming out.
Yeah, so I enjoy that stuff. The creatures and monsters and the demons. I thought they did a good job with that.
And the
But
vomiting of 2% milk.
yep. But
Now-
go ahead.
I'd heard or read somewhere that they didn't go with just blood everywhere because they're trying to get a rating that was acceptable. So they changed the color of blood.
Mm-hmm.
And this is actually was listed in the UK as one of the video, I think the first video nasty. I think it was banned for a while and they had to cut some stuff out. But yeah. Which you watch it now, it's like,
Yeah.
so it seems kind of tame in comparison to what we see.
Well, they did that with the Toxic Avenger too. They changed the blood and stuff.
All right.
Same reason.
But everyone dies except for Ash.
Yes.
Which is debatable.
Debatable.
Oh yeah. I mean, their regular selves are gone.
They never truly die.
What about their souls?
Swallow your soul.
You think Ash has survived until the evil force works its way into the cabin and
Through
end,
the cabin.
end with Ash?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
How's it go?
And,
Should we rate this now?
Yes,
Let's rate it.
Who's rating first?
Steven's going first.
I give this 5 looking glass
Is
necklaces.
this out of 5?
Oh, we're doing that.
This 1 to 5.
Yes,
I wasn't ready for that.
5 being the best, 1 being you did not like it at all.
So 5 looking glasses.
Yeah, 5 looking glasses, which Ash gives his girlfriend, and it helps him throughout the entire movie.
I will also give it 5 Bruce Campbells, because this is one of those movies I could just watch every month. And I know it's going to happen, but I just love the flow of the movie.
All right, Dan Beck.
I'm going to give it 5 mason jars that you can drink out of.
Okay.
All right.
And out of spite, and because I have to edit this, I'm giving this 4 poops.
Thanks, Jeremy.
I did enjoy it though. I enjoyed the story and the prosthetics and blood and all that stuff. I enjoyed
Claymation.
the claymation. He went full on claymation at the end, which was fun to see. So I enjoyed it. Thought it was good.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
How's that hand?
It still hurts. Little Gillen bit me.
Looks like you need a little infection.
That's not good.
You gotta get it off. No. Get it off. Here. Get it off. Get it off. Hold on. Well, that was fun.
You need a hand with that?
Thank you. What do I do now?
I've got an idea.
Groovy.
You okay, Jeremy? Little Gil? Huh?
All right, let's do it. Evil Dead 2.
4 years ago, in this quiet forest, in this cozy cabin, something happened. Something so frightening. Something so deadly. Something so evil. We prayed it would never happen again. Now, from the creator of Evil Dead comes Evil Dead 2.
Thanks for the hand, guys.
You are welcome. I'm glad I could lend you a hand.
I got nothing. Evil Dead 2, made in 1987.
6 years after the first.
Really? He made it. It was 6 years after the first one.
Yep.
What took him so long?
What
Was
does-
that his next movie?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think he'd already started doing some other
Done a couple and then went back to it.
But directed by Sam Raimi. And often considered to be a remake, but it's not true. It's a sequel. He couldn't obtain the rights to the original to show a recap, so he did the recap. The first 10 minutes is recap. Then the entity, the Force, takes him, and that's where the movie picks back up with the new story.
I want to point out that I do not like that approach with the whole recap part because it doesn't make sense. If you guys were saying, yeah, this was a bigger budget thing for the audience and most people didn't even know this was a sequel, well then I picture most people sitting in the audience in the first 10 minutes and he's just flying through that recap and them going, okay. And like, I don't like it. It suffers from Phantasm syndrome. Or if Phantasm came out first, or vice versa. Phantasm suffers from Evil Dead syndrome. I don't know. Whichever one came first. But I don't like the whole recap thing. Just tell the story and get on with it.
If I were to make a supercut of like all the Evil Dead movies, I would use the original. I would cut off the beginning of this, and because it doesn't even have the friend.
Yeah, you just
It's him and his girlfriend.
And it's not the same one.
Yeah, different actors. Like all the original cast is not in it.
I would have rather just opened up with that boom coming through the cabin and then up on him and just doing that. That would have been nicer for me. That's gripe one.
One of how many?
A couple.
In the original, they used a real location, a real cabin. This one, I guess, since they had a bigger budget, they built a cabin in a gymnasium in a middle school in North Carolina. So if you're a fan, go visit that middle school and check it out.
Yeah.
Ask if you can take pictures.
Without permission, just start taking pictures. Show up. They appreciate that.
And I think I read that because of all the blood they used in this, it attracted a lot of flies. The Caro syrup attracted a lot of flies. And you can see flies throughout the movie, like
Yeah, I
crawling
saw 'em.
actors and- So,
Did you see him?
I saw a fly.
I saw at least 2.
Oh.
full of flies. How many flies did you count? Let us know in the comments below.
Please let us know in the comments below.
But the story picks up with Ash is taken by the Force, and he becomes a Deadite himself.
He does.
For the first time. He now is
He
possessed with the evil.
Yeah.
But it leaves him because the sun comes out.
Yep.
Deadites do not like the sunlight.
So his eyes cleared up, and he was like, ah, ah.
It
Goes
looked
back.
like the sun had hurt him in some way. It
Yeah.
was painful.
I liked his eyes, the milky eyes, and they kind of cleared up.
Yeah.
And he heads back
That
to
was
the
almost
cabin.
a Batusi. Yeah, he goes back to the cabin and begins into a downward spiral of. Actually, the sun comes up, he de-deadites, and then he's, I guess, exhausted, so he basically passes back out and sleeps all day. Wakes up, and it's like 30 minutes till dusk. So he gets in the house, and then sun goes down, and
Did he try to get back to the bridge?
Yeah.
Can we
He
see
tried-
the?
That's when it got dark.
he tried to get away, and there was
That's when he's on the
Oh.
side of the Grand
you
Canyon.
can't do it, can you?
Big giant,
Yeah,
yeah.
can't.
And that's when the evil rises from the Grand Canyon.
And all the fog comes back out.
Oh, that's your same boy from Phantasm.
So the next, like 30, 20 minutes is him basically alone in the house going crazy.
Falling into madness.
I loved it.
Talking to the deer heads, cats are dancing around, lamps are going.
His girlfriend Linda reappears,
Does a little dancing number.
does a little.
That's my second grape. Okay, this is my second
What?
grape here.
When she jumps off and goes, woo! It's hilarious.
It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing of him looking out and seeing her come back to life and dancing for 10 minutes. I'm not feeling it.
The
I'm not
dance was
feeling it.
weird. I like when she came up right by the window and then her head just slowly peels back off her body. I was like, yes.
Yeah, that was kind of awesome. You gotta admit.
I like when she comes into the shed or whatever and she's got the chainsaw half. I like that. But the whole dancing for like 10 minutes while I'm like, it's like, all right, let's go. I wasn't feeling it.
Oops.
At the same time that he's falling into madness, a plane has landed in another movie. And a woman and her assistant gets off. This is Annie.
Is it her assistant or her
Boyfriend.
Like, boyfriend, lover,
Boyfriend
whatever?
/ assistant, Ed.
Okay.
And Annie is the daughter of Professor Nobi.
Nobi.
Or the guy on the
Nobi
tapes.
one?
Nobi-Wan Kenobi.
And we learn that Professor Nobi is the owner of the cabin, and him and his wife Henrietta were going over the tapes
Oops.
and unleashed the evil dead.
They did. And so the wife got possessed, and he tossed her. He killed her, and then he buried her in the basement.
Yeah.
So and for a little while, the wife becomes like the kind of main demon thing that they're facing. This witch in the cellar that they got, you know.
When
It's
Annie
like
well, she needs passageway to the cabin.
Yeah.
We kind of jumped ahead. Sorry.
They get Jake and Billy Joe. Jake is the tow
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Billy Joe's his hillbilly girlfriend. It's like, I know a way because the bridge is out.
Bobby Joe?
Bobby Joe.
Bobby Joe.
Billy Joe? Bobby Joe?
Bobby Joe.
Bobby Joe?
And he's like, I know a way to get there. And they head to the cabin.
For $100.
Anyway. So it kind of culminates with
Ash's
madness.
peak of madness. Knock on the door.
bam, bam. I love that. I love it.
It was an odd place to get shot.
The girl?
Yeah.
Where was she shot?
She was in the shoulder, but it was,
It was like a grazing wound.
yeah, but it wasn't. Like when you actually see the blood, it's like in the shoulder.
Wait, who gets shot? What are you talking
Bobby
about?
Joe.
Bobby Joe gets hit in the shoulder.
Does she?
Yeah. That's why she was holding her shoulder for 10 minutes.
I phased out during that part. So.
Jeremy was doing this throughout the movie.
I was slowly like nodding out. I missed that part. I definitely missed that part. So
They subdue Ash,
By
knocking him in the face
and throwing him.
in the basement. The fruit cellar.
What's in my fruit salad?
And that's when they start the tape again, and it's like, oh yeah, I buried Henrietta in the fruit cellar. And right when
Yeah.
they say that, here comes Henrietta.
as if the script as if it was next up in the script, the witch came up or what they called her a witch, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, he couldn't bring
Right.
himself to cut her up into pieces. So he
Yeah.
buried her.
Bury her in the earthen
Which
floor.
in the first one, that's what they did with his girlfriend. They
With-
cut her up and buried her.
With
Yeah.
what's his name?
She stayed dead after that, didn't she?
Yeah.
That's how you get rid of them.
Way to do it.
Dismember them.
Not just a head, like everything.
She'll never be the head of a major corporation. Anyway,
Then they're like, get him out of there. Get him out of there. Because they see that there's a demon down there. And they're like, well, let's get him out. And they let him out.
they let Ash out.
Uh-huh.
In the process, letting Henrietta come out of the cellar.
Right.
I believe she
Is that when she's floating around?
that is Ted Raimi actually
Yes.
floating
Ted
around.
Raimi? Sweat. The
Evil
suit,
Ted Raimi.
the suit, all latex, so hot that he was just building up sweat. And when she turned sideways, you can see in the movie just like a stream.
Yeah. It's like
That
a
is
water
real
hose.
Ted Raimi sweat. No prosthetics there.
It must have been miserable.
So then, like, one by one, the people get possessed.
Bobby Joe, they stomp on the door when Henrietta's down there. Eyeball pops out. And Bobby Joe swallows eyeball.
There was never a reaction shot. She does that and she kind of moves off camera, and I was expecting it to come back to her and she'd be like, "Blah," but then it just cuts back to her and the next she's screaming at something else or something. Like, never got a reaction shot of the completion of that or something.
I don't remember her possession. Her.
She didn't. They heard noise in the back room.
She got pulled from the tree.
They go back in the
Yeah.
back room. Then you see the ghost of Professor Nobi says, you got to do this. You got to read these pages to get rid of the evil. And then it's the whole, you're holding my hand too hard.
It's basically they have to read the thing to give the evil a physical body so that they can then read another passage to open a portal to bring it, suck it back through.
Yeah, Annie had brought the extra pages that were missing from the book.
Yeah.
And that would complete the
Yeah.
thing.
But
I
Should
hear
move. Everybody ready to move on to rating it?
evil force.
We have to rate it pretty soon. Here.
Train for
We gotta get to his hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hand. Let's address the hand really quick.
This is the first time we see Ash get his chainsaw hand. His hand gets possessed. He lops it off,
it. Lops it off.
and they figure out, hey, we need to build something. There's a little,
A montage.
yeah,
Next thing
chainsaw
you know,
hand.
chainsaw hand.
Him and Annie are now ready to take on the Evil Dead. And yeah, they do the
What's the word?
incantation. Incantation.
Got it.
Good job.
And make the evil flesh.
Which is the form of a large head. The tree head comes through the front door and is going la 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 la.
Annie has been stabbed in the back by Ash's possessed hand. And she her dying breath finishes the phrase, portal sucks the evil out along with Ash. And Ash awakens.
In
Medieval times.
Medieval time.
not the place in Atlanta.
The restaurant. And
What is that?
Evil.
Evil Dead 2 is
1-5.
my favorite of the Evil Deads.
Yes.
I give it 5 chainsaw hands. Yep. 5 damn Beck hands.
you're bringing up painful memories for Dan. All right, Miller.
This was the first one I watched, and I just kind of like fell in love with this movie. Just it's so wacky and crazy, but I loved it because obviously a chainsaw hand, the sawed-off shotgun. So I will rate it. I'll give it 5 sawed-off shotguns.
I think I have that graphic already.
I hope you do.
From the Mad Max review. So. Right.
I like this movie. I'm going to give it 4 shovels lopping off heads.
Okay then.
What do you give it, Jeremy?
I'm gonna give it this is my least favorite out of the 2 movies I've watched so far. so far.
Let everyone know this is your first time seeing this one as well.
This is my first time seeing this one.
You've not seen the rest.
I enjoyed the first one better. The first one I felt had better pacing, and we kind of built up to the madness and the crazy. This one, although it just jumps right into it, and I feel that we don't get much backstory for the stuff that happens. It's just like we jump right into Ash's continuation, which I like, but there's no really pause to kind of get a little more backstory as to what's going on. We get a little bit of it through the tape recorder, but I wish we'd have had a little more. And so I'm gonna give it 2.5 poops to take that. And I gave the first one 4, so I'm gonna give this one 2.5. I was kind of bored, honestly, through some of it.
Just wait till 3.
So
All right, well,
yeah,
join us next time where we'll be reviewing Army of Darkness.
Evil Dead 3.
Yeah, Medieval Dead.
Whoa!
Whoa.
oh, why wasn't it called that?
It might have been
Oh.
some places.
All right.
So yeah.
Yeah.
See you next time. That's pretty intense. Thanks for holding my hand. I was pretty scared.
I wasn't holding your hand.
Hey, another little Gil out. It's probably good now.
Yeah.
Come on, little Gil. Come on out.
I swear your soul.
He bit me. Crap. What are we gonna do?
What in the Sam Raimi did you do?
I want a chainsaw hand too.
Glada, Rata, Nictu, Nosferatu, Bakananu, Glada, Rata, Nictu, Nosferatu, Bakananu.